Another brand new piece of beef that I tried was cow tongue. And it looks really gross when you cook it, but it tastes delicious, especially if you cook it in this specific way. And I even gave Jericho raw pieces, which he ate, of course, and even cooked pieces, which he ate, which is surprising because his diet is completely raw. He doesn't eat any type of cooked meat. But he ate the cooked tongue. Hey friends, it's Jess and Jericho, and I've adopted the proper human diet, as Dr. Ken very brilliantly calls it. I adopted about 2 months ago, and I'm already seeing really great results. But this video, I want to talk about the food. Of course, Jericho is a cat. He's an obligate carnivore, so he's also eating a proper, natural cat diet. So for breakfast, I eat ground beef 80-20, so 80% lean, 20% fat. Sometimes I get fattier cuts than that. The fattier, the better. And I eat half a pound of the ground beef. And I also eat it with about 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter, sometimes 5 tablespoons of butter. It really just depends on how I'm feeling. If I want extra fat, then I eat extra fat. Jericho's breakfast is a combination of chunks of meat, fat, and organs. So typically he'll have turkey thigh, that's the base of his diet, boneless turkey thigh, and he has some gizzards and heart. He also has liver and beef spleen, a little bit of ground beef, and a little bit of ground salmon as well. Most of Jericho's food comes from Here Today. This is a raw pet food supplier. Love them. They made it on Susan Fix's 2023 list. That means that they prove that their ingredients and their products are of human grade quality. They're USDA and FDA inspected. I really like Here Today because they have an amazing rewards program. So I share my referral link with friends and family and you in the description. And when somebody purchases, I get discount points. When you create an account, you earn discount points. When you review products, send them a picture, send them a testimonial, sign up for their newsletter, you get discount points. So I'm actually able to get Jericho's food completely 100% for free because of these discount points, which is amazing, super helpful. Lunch, I don't eat lunch, I just eat breakfast and dinner. Jericho also eats main meals, breakfast and dinner, but around lunchtime he does get a little snack. So I give him treats. I either hide them around the apartment for him to hunt, or I put them in this cat amazing food puzzle toy, which is really great for mental stimulation and enrichment. So these treats are from White Oak Pastures. These are dehydrated chicken feet. And I like to break off the toe parts, cut off the nail, break off the toe, and then hide them in this cat food puzzle toy. Cat amazing. They work really well in this cat food puzzle toy because they're quite large and they're very solid. So when you break them apart, they don't crumble down into tiny dust pieces. So they work really well in the puzzle toy. Using these types of toys or making your cat hunt for food around the apartment is a really excellent way to kind of bring the natural instincts indoors. So I got these treats, and I also get Jericho's beef spleen from White Oak Pastures. Here Today doesn't sell beef spleen, so I found it at White Oak Pastures. This is a regenerative farm. Everything is pasture raised, and their beef specifically is grass-fed and grass-finished. So you can get some great meat for you and your cat. I like their 80-20 ground beef. It's very, very tasty. This video is not sponsored, but I did join their affiliate program after testing their beef and their spleen with Jericho, and they gave me a wonderful discount so that I can test and review their products. Thank you so much, White Oak Pastures. And I have a discount code for you. You can visit whiteoakpastures.com/Jess Caticles, or use the link in the description below. That'll give you $20 off your first purchase of $150 or more. So White Oak Pastures does have ground pet mixes, but they are not complete and balanced, so I wouldn't recommend buying them for your cat. Instead, I have some balanced recipes linked in the description. You can use those recipes and then buy your ingredients separately from White Oak Pastures or elsewhere. So for dinner, I have more ground beef, or I also make burgers out of beef and 2 egg yolks, and of course, more butter. I'll also add some tallow if I need more fat, because sometimes I can only get 85-15. But like I said, White Oak Pastures does have 80-20. It's delicious. Sometimes I do still add beef tallow to it though for the extra fat. What I'll do if I'm making patties is I'll cook the patties and the ground beef in the same pan. So I'll split up the pound, make 2 patties, and then do ground beef for half of it so that I have the patties for dinner and then the ground beef for the next morning for breakfast. And of course, I season it with Redmond real salt. I was never really a big salt person. And then when I moved to this proper human diet, you know, everybody says salt your food, salt your food, salt your food. And so I was from the grocery store, I was like, it doesn't really matter. But then I upgraded to Redmond real salt. Oh my gosh, so good. I tried some on my finger. It's like kind of sweet, very, very good and very tasty. So I also tried White Oak Pasture's steak burger grind. So this is the 8515, so this is one I would add some tallow. So it's a steak, but ground up so that you can make burgers. So I tried the burgers and I also made a mini version for Jericho. So I made a mini version for Jericho. His is raw, of course, and I put a little bit of an egg yolk on top of it. And of course he loved it because his diet is raw and he really likes beef and egg yolks. But Jericho's main dinner is more of those chunks of meat, organs, and fat, and also some raw meaty bones. So I cut up some chicken wings, so he'll get one piece of chicken wing each day, or he'll get a chicken neck. And sometimes I'll cut that into 2 pieces just so that he's chewing on something every single day. 2 days a week, he also eats whole prey. And I really like to feed him whole prey because that's the natural cat diet. That is the ultimate proper feline diet right there. It's exactly what they eat outside. It's what they were built to eat. So Jericho eats whole adult quail, and I cut that up into pieces because they are quite large. And he also eats day-old peeps. So this could range from day-old peep chickens or ducklings or gooselings. And I get the whole prey from Raw Feeding Miami, and if you want to get 10% off your first order, you can use my referral link in the description. Now I also tried osso buco, which is beef shank from White Oak Pastures. Never cooked it before, never had it before, so this was interesting to say the least. I saved some raw for Jericho, so I scooped out some of the raw marrow and I also cut off a raw piece of the meat, and then I cooked it for myself. So I looked online for recipes, just boiled it and left it for a few hours. The meat was better in some areas than others, like around the bone, especially where it's fatty, was pretty good. But some of the other meat, I don't know, I've read online that some people, it's hit and miss when you cook it, and it was only my first time cooking it. But the marrow, oh my gosh, it was so good. So I'm definitely going to get beef marrow bones, but I might want to read up on how to cook osso buco. If you have any tips and tricks, please let me know in the comments. Jericho really liked it. Of course, he ate the raw marrow and he also ate the raw meat. Another brand new piece of beef that I tried was cow tongue. And it looks really gross when you cook it, but it tastes delicious, especially if you cook it in this specific way. And I even gave Jericho raw pieces, which he ate, of course, and even cooked pieces, which he ate, which is surprising because his diet is completely raw. He doesn't eat any type of cooked meat. But he ate the cooked tongue. So cow tongues are really massive and very interesting to handle. And again, I saved some raw for Jericho and I cooked it for myself. And so I boiled it and then simmered it, and it does look kind of gross. But anyway, after you boil and simmer it, you peel the skin and then slice it. Get some tallow and ghee in a pan, nice and hot, and then fry it. Oh my goodness. So good. It adds such a nice crunch and such a nice depth of flavor and also the texture to my ground beef, egg yolk, and butter dinner. It was so, so good. And especially when you cook it in the tallow and the ghee, it gives it that like rich, buttery, and also deep beef kind of flavor. I actually have another tongue because it came with 2. So I actually have another tongue that's thawed in the refrigerator that I'm gonna cook again today. I can't wait. Jericho enjoyed the tongue raw, and then I also gave him the cooked tongue, like I said, but I didn't fry it. That was just plain sliced, unseasoned, nothing on it. And he actually ate it cooked. Check out this playlist right over 𝐤𝐄𝐄. It is my cat nutrition course where you can learn how to properly formulate for your cat a proper and natural feline diet. Thanks for watching.